go. Hello, everybody. I have moved the camera because we have a Cateau joining us on the footstool here. Let me see. So trying to make sure we get both of us. So welcome everybody to Heart of a Hobbit here on the official Lotro twitch.tv/Lotro stream channel. I am your host, Little Redhead, and I will be taking you around the world of Middle Earth while also hoping to provide you with quality cat content. So we have the cat cam already, but she went to a different location. So let me actually turn that one off for the moment. But it is ready. Yes. Welcome to Heart of a Hobbit, where the rain is intermittent and the cat cam is ready. So hello to Erin Vard, and good afternoon, Hegler, and hello, Sandy. Good to see you guys. Good to see everybody in chat there. Yes, she's very much like, what is going on? But everything will be really relaxed here very, very soon. So, all right, well, let's see. First thing I'm going to do, because I haven't done this yet, is pop by the ingredient crates and grab my stuff. And all right, and then let me see, how's my window looking? 10 days. I think I'm in good shape there. My inventory is a little muddled. We were out questing, and I have a bunch of stuff in my inventory that I don't need. Like this heavy shield I will never use. And yeah, this. Oh, but actually, before I start mucking about with the inventory, let me head over to the Hardened Traveler. So, Scraps Taru, welcome to the chat. Good morning to you. Good afternoon for me. Yes, I'm from America, but I am living in the Netherlands, so it is definitely afternoon here. And in fact, we are getting afternoon showers, and so it is alternate and like going back and forth between super sunny, and so I've actually pulled the curtain a little bit so I'm not blinded, but then I've had to pull in the awning because then it's like we're due to get rain a couple times here over the next hour or two. So yeah, crazy, all this chaos happening around us. So Smooth, hello, welcome to the chat. Okay, so I am on Treebeard, which is a legendary server, but what used to only exist on legendary servers now exists on all the servers, which is kind of fun, which is this Hardened Traveler guy, and you can change up your difficulty level in the game. So on Saturdays, we have our kinship group runs around together, and we're questing on landscape often, and so we do it on very difficult. In fact, I am still set to difficulty 7, which is right here, this heroic. I'm a heroic hobbit, what can I say? Heroic hobbit who knows how to play a mean lute. But when it's just the two of us, because today it'll be myself and B4 running around doing stuff for the Zelruka Dwarf Allegiance. Oh, bye. Here, I'll go ahead and turn this back towards me a little bit more. Then we tend to pop it back down to 3. That still keeps us within the ability to... Hello, Pamela. Sorry, I'm giggling because Scraps Taru says, kudos to you. Fearless puts me in the ground if I get careless. I would say heroic absolutely does that. It's really nice when we're running around though, because we're running on is usually 4, sometimes as many as 6 people, and we have a healer in the group always, and a bear. So we've got the bear up option, we've got the minstrel bringing us back, all of that. But fearless, when there's 2 of us, we're able to do it. Me with the hunter, so I got all the DPS pew 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 from a distance going on. Affadil with the other stuff. What you looking for? Oh, I'm not dealing with my inventory. That's. I have 60 open spots, so I'm fine for now. Anyway, okay, so yes, so difficulty 3 with the 2 of us seems to work out pretty good, and we're working on those deeds, which I can pull that up for you here. I'm gonna go ahead and sort this out. So I'm switching it. I've accepted number 3, fearless, and now I'm confirming it. Okay, so there's that. Now also, I can't pick up those for another day and 15 hours. Okay. Let me explain what all's going on here. I am, that's not a quest. What am I looking for? There we go. Okay, in my deed log is under class race epic, under the class race epic tab. You have all the class deeds that you're working on. And I am currently working on 2 class deeds that I'm in the middle of. One is Adept of Bows, which is achieve 130th level playing through on adventurous difficulty or higher as a hunter. Now they renamed these, so I don't think they've gone in and renamed the the levels, the difficulty 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, used to have different names when it was just on Treebeard and Shadowfax. But now that it's gone to all the worlds, they went ahead and renamed them and kind of made it a little easier to pay attention to what was what. But they didn't rename them in the deeds yet. So anyway, so playing on adventurous difficulty or higher, that's that one. And then Master of Bows is playing through 130th level on Fearless or higher. Actually, Fearless is correct, right? So what's this other one? That one is Adventurous. Let me double check this. Oh, maybe they did rename them. I was incorrect. Okay, so if you play on difficulty 1 or higher, so anything above normal, you are in the running for this deed. And if you make it to level 50, you get a title. And if you make it to 130, you get a title. And then if you run at Fearless or higher, which is 2 more higher than, difficulty 3 or higher, there's a second title that you have, that you can earn at level 50 and at level 130. But in order to keep those going, wrong button, there we go. I had to start these deeds before I turned level 11, before this character turned level 11. So I have kept it at level difficulty or higher since before level 11. I think I actually turned it on at like 5 or something because we were running around together, so it was no big deal. We were able to, help each other out from the beginning. Yeah, so if I were to drop down to normal or, anything below 3, I would lose the harder one, the Master of Bows. I would no longer be eligible to get that title with this character. And if I were to drop below Adventurous, that level 1, if I drop down to 0, I would lose out on Adept of Bows. I wouldn't be able to get that either. So that's how that works. Now, these are account-wide titles. So I have other hunters, and they may be playing on various difficulty level, but it doesn't matter what level they're playing on, because if I stay with it with this character, she gets the titles and all of my other characters get the titles, whether they're hunters or not. Like every single one of my characters has these titles. So if I go to character title and look at deed, I think it is. Let me close this in the background. It's a little distracting. Let's see. Yeah. So here, you notice they start coming in. We have Apprentice of Arms, Apprentice of Banners, Apprentice of Bows, Apprentice of Claws, Fists, Runes, Scrolls, Shadows, Shields, Song. So those are the ones that I have earned because on Treebeard we went a little crazy. And we created one of every type of class. So I have a hunter and a lore master and a warden, and like I have all of these different types of characters, and each one has a different title that they can get. The of bows is the hunter one. So yeah, so I could with my hunter here be like, oh, I want to be Apprentice of Shadows, boom, and I choose that title. And then the other ones were the, what was it? Disciple. These are the ones you got at level 50. So I have Disciple of Arms, Banners, Blades, Bows, Claws, Fists, Runes, Scrolls, Shadows, Shields, and Disciple of Song. So all the way down through there because I got to level 50 with every one of those characters. I do a lot of farming. Like literally plant, crop, pull up crop, plant, crop, pull up crop. So, Yes. So before mentions in the chat. Originally, Rosenbloom wasn't my main character on this server. I started off with a high elf because I was going through a high elf phase. I still like high elves. I think they're pretty awesome. I love their tumble and the dance they do, and sometimes how they shoot arrows. It's very, elegant. And it's really cool. But I found that I just wasn't jamming with the high elf, and I really was wanting to play a hobbit. So somewhere around the Lone Lands, I swapped over. And so I had 2 hunters already on the server at that point. It was pretty funny. Oh yeah, they're mounting a whistle thing. Yeah, see, they've got so many cool things. But yes, B4 points out that if I recall, your high elf came out at level 2 and landscape was a bit challenging. That is very true, because I went ahead and turned it on as soon as I came out of the instance with her, out of the intro. And because we're on Treebeard, we have a lower rate of receiving experience, and so I came out, out of the intro, and I was like level 2 down in the bottom of Ered Luin, where they've got like those sickle flies, and normally it's no big deal, okay, go take out like 6 sickle flies, whatever. They were killing people. They were taking people out. It was insane. It was so crazy. So yes. So that was a little entertainment. But once we got together as a group, then it went a lot better. Let's see. So Ehrenbard asks about res, because before I mentioned the 30-minute res is handy. High elves have a racial trait, which is they get a resurrection that they can use to revive a fellow every 30 minutes, though. It has this huge long cooldown. So it's not good in, in battle or anything. But if you're desperate, the high elf can do, if they're like the last one standing, they can use their 30-minute res and bring up, hopefully, the minstrel, who can then res everybody else. So that's kind of cool, too. And I do miss that. I wish I had that on my Hobbit, but I don't. So, oh well. Okay, so the other thing I was going to point out is the Hardened Traveler. Because this has been ported out to all of the servers now, they have a cool thing where they have a whole new system they've added to him where you're gaining reputation. So I have, how much reputation do I have with this guy? It's the Path of Valour. And every time you turn in, he has, let me go back. He has these tasks. He has 3 different tasks. So tokens of heroism tier 2, tokens of heroism tier 3. So those are the 3 tasks that he has that you can do. And when you turn in one of those tasks, it gives you reputation on his Path of Valour. Currently I am daring. And I'm at 3,800 rep out of 9,000. I don't remember actually all the levels now. Before might have that more clearly. But yeah, so I'm working my way through the reputation with this guy. So every time I turn in this task, I get some reputation. I also get some barter tokens, and those are stacking up. What can I do for you? So I have currently 135 of the barter tokens that I can use with him. Now, one of the things I could use is buy reputation. So that would help move me along the Path of Valor a little faster. And I can buy some potions of morale, power. This elixir of heroism is supposed to let you get more tokens as you're going. It's supposed to, improves your chances of discovering tokens of heroism on defeated enemies when your difficulty is set to fearless or higher. So I have one of those, but I haven't tried it yet. Now, the next thing, though, this is what I'm actually here for, is these are all different emotes that you can get, and they're epic versions of the regular emotes. So we should be able to see these, I believe. Epic, yeah. So now the little image in here, it wasn't up to date with everything about, like there was some missing part of the animation in the little preview here, but they actually have the whole thing in if you buy the thing. So epic coin flip, it looks like the coin is shiny and sparkly. Hero pose, I actually want hero pose because yeah, it makes your sword all shiny and sparkly, like lights shining from it. That one looks really cool. Epic lecture. I'm not sure what's different. It's epic. I'll have to look at the difference between those two. There's epic resist. Oh, that's nice. You kind of have a little explosion thing going on there. Epic roar. It looks like something out of like an anime. The epic salute. You also get a shiny sword with sparkles. The epic shiver. Yeah, you have a little cold coming off you. That's pretty cool. And the epic succumb. Looks like you've been defeated by fear and stuff. So that one's neat too. So these are all what you can purchase from this guy. And you have to have a certain level of reputation with his faction in order to purchase them. So I've reached the level I need to get the shiver or the succumb emote, but if I want the resist, my standing is too low. My standing is too low for all the rest of these, for resist, salute, lecture, all those. So that's what I'm working on, is kind of accumulating those tokens, and there's like a limit of like 1,000 or something like that, so I'm fine with those. I'm good I'm not close to reaching the cap on those levels. Cool. The I think B4 has put in there that the Hardened Travelers levels are Stalwart, Daring, Intrepid, Indomitable, and Fearless. So I got a little ways to go. Oh, and B4 has the first two emotes, if we want to see what they look like over here. We're going to get off the snow. Okay. All right, there you go. There's the shiver. Nice. Nice. Yeah, that's cute. And there's succumb. Wow, look at all that. Like all those things going on around. Little fear faces. Roar. Wow. Little grumpy, like, ooh, faces. Okay. So there we go. Okay, so we have some questions in chat. Sorry. Epic charge. I know, right? You do need epic charge. Affidel uses charge all the time to let us know that it's time to go. So yeah, epic charge would be fantastic for you. Okay, so Aaron Bard asked, were there always corpses in the Weaver's Den in the Old Forest? Are those new? I think they were there before. I'm not sure. Let's see. Knusper asks, is the game actually free? I saw it on stream. Yeah, Aaron Bard points out that it's free. The Epic quest line is free to level 95, but you can do all sorts of stuff in the game for free. It is free to play. Let's see. Oh, and B4 says, yeah, it's free to play with a bunch of content. A bunch of the content is available for free, and the whole world is like open to you pretty much for free. So let's see. So let me open a map here. So when you first start the game, you start as like a hobbit or an elf or a dwarf or Bjorning or whatever you choose. And you go through kind of a little intro that teaches you like how to move your mouse and, you know, various things like that through a storyline. And when you are done with that introduction, it pops you out into the world here. If you are playing an elf or a high elf, it drops you off at the bottom of Ered Luin here in Celondim. If you're a dwarf, it drops you off up here where we are at the top of Ered Luin by Thorin's Gate, Thorin's Hall. But you do have some overlap between the dwarf and the elf storyline there, early on stuff. If you're a hobbit, you get dropped off in the Shire. If you're race of man, or do Bjornings also end up in Breeland? You end up in Archet up here, and there's a little storyline up there, and then you eventually make your way to Bree. So all of this world is like open. You could just run around, like you could just walk around the whole place if you wanted to. Like there's nobody going to stop you. The only limit you might have is there are some quests that are available for purchase, and so you wouldn't have access to those quests, but you would be able to walk through the area. For example, like Moria, when you get to you you can go in and do a bunch of the epic quest line through Moria. But there's like always a lot of little side quests you can do. Like, hey, my cousin Fror needs help over here in these mines. Can you go help him? And that might be locked to you. But the epic quest line that I keep mentioning basically is, let me pull up my log. You have a book. You are a character in a book. And the book starts with a prologue, which you can participate in or not. It doesn't matter. And then you have like volume 1, and you are following along in volume 1, and there's chapters. So like right now, I have picked up. Well, let me see if I can give this a better example. So I'm in further on in the game, and I'm in the epic books volume 3. So 1, 2, 3. I'm all the way up to volume 3. Within volume 3, I'm participating in book 9, and within book 9, I'm in chapter 4, known as the Stone of the Werngend. So that's how you are given something to do in the game, a focus, if you like. And a lot of times the first time you play a game, following that epic quest line is a good way to kind of help take you through the different parts of the game and give you some focus and some ideas on what to do. And and the stories are really well written. And basically you are following alongside the Fellowship of the Ring. So you're helping out in helping them prepare or taking care of things that need to be dealt with, but Aragorn doesn't have time to do it right now. Gandalf doesn't have time to do it right now, but hey, you're an adventurer. Can you go and deal with this right now and then come back and let him know? Things like that. So as free to play, you have access to like all of this sort of stuff. You can play it on Steam, as you saw. You can also play it here. I use the launcher. So I just went to like lotro.com and, did the launcher. So you have options on which way you like to play. There's fewer people on Steam. There's more people that use the launcher. So if you have anything like where you're like, hey, I can't figure out how to like my login's acting weird or something like that, there's more people who would be able to help you if you were using the launcher than if you were using Steam. That's kind of the main difference between them. I'm just used to using the launcher, so I haven't gone over to try it through Steam. My understanding, though, is once I can have a character, and if I were to log in through Steam, I should still be able to access my characters from there. It should be seamless between one to the other, but I don't switch back and forth because I don't want to mess up anything, and I'm just like, you kind of stick with what you know. I hope that answers the question there. We have a streamer on here. He may be on hiatus. But there was a streamer on here, I think on Friday nights, who was only doing free to play. Like, I have got VIP because I really like it, and I like some of the quality of life enhancements that come with it. And it during like the pandemic and stuff, it's definitely one of those things where I was like, okay, where do I want to put my money? Who do I want to support? And like with my free time, where do I want to focus that? And because I enjoy Lotro so much, I'm happy to pay for the quality of life and consider that also me helping to fund them continuing to make this really cool thing that I like to do. But that is absolutely not required. You can totally play the game without buying anything ever. A lot of people do. So yeah, Arabani says, I'm not impressed with the epic emotes. I'm not sure what their goal was with it. I think it was just to add a little sprinkle on top of things. I think it wasn't meant to be like a huge change to the game. You know what I mean? I think they were just like, here, have some fun with this stuff. But it wasn't meant to be like a new thing. I think that's kind of what it was. Let's see. Valkyria Shield Maiden asked about the UI. Does it look like that because of the server or because I'm using an add-on? I am using a skin, and I think that got mentioned. Yes, I'm using an add-on called a skin, and lots of plugins. That's true. I'm also using lots of plugins. I love the plugins. And like the free to play, you absolutely don't need to use any of this stuff to play the game. I just enjoy some of the stuff that comes with it. So I am using a number of things. Let's see, Control O opens up the options. In my UI settings, I have downloaded the JRR Skins collection. So if you scroll down about 2/3 of the way down, this is the JRR Delving Hills Wide 2 that I'm using. But I also I like it because it's all viney and stuff. But actually, the Delving Hills is kind of a little more hobbity. Oh, let me show you the other Delving Hills. It's kind of cute. The Wide 1. It's a little more like cutesy hobbity. I'll run with that for a little while. So you see how it changed like the look around my radar. It changed all of the furriness down here, and the way that buttons are still in the same places, but what's around them is different. When I go to like my shared storage, you can see there's like little leaves in the corners. Oh, you can't see it now because it's left in the way, but there's like little leaves in the corners. The colors have all been adjusted to this theme that I'm running with. Now, my potato frame is actually because we got that Sam thing, so that's actually like normal, like that's an actual frame. So yeah, so I'm running with a UI skin, and that's why it looks different. The bar at the top with all this information, that is Titan bar, one of my favorites. I love running with Titan bar. I could have pulled up Deed Tracker when I was looking at those deeds earlier, because that's a plugin that I use to track deeds and what have I not finished in this particular area because I like to be a completionist. Yeah, I have a whole lot of plugins that I'm running with. Oh my gosh, one of my favorites here is Travel Window 2. I don't think I could ever run a Hunter again without it. Yeah, zoom zoom. Okay. Let's see. Yes, Hagra says, one does not simply walk into Mordor, but you can. You can simply walk into Mordor. As a chicken, right? I think. Before it does a lot of running around as a chicken. There's a whole little side quest of things that you can do where you turn into a chicken and you run around Middle-earth. It's so fun. Oh, good. Pamela mentions that, yes, Bjornings do end up in Bree just a little later. Let's see. Where are we at? Lootable corpses, yes. So Arbany says, if these are the lootable corpses that you're talking about earlier, yes, they've always been there. It's just type of random spawning chest, as it were. Sagra says, yes, you can simply walk into Mordor, but before it says no, the Black Gate says no. Aaron Bard says, if you have a fast horse, you can get far in higher level areas before you are smacked off and knocked out. Ask me how I know this. Zagara says, how do you know this? I wonder. Let's see. Oh, B4 does point out, I'm not sure what this is related to, but if the mobs are high enough above you, like 20 levels higher than you or so, yellow bar mobs, so what that means is there are, let me pop down here. When you look at a mob, this might be new information for some of you. So we're going to go look at a few things. We're going to go look at some things that are not hobbits or dwarves. Let's find a critter. There's one. Okay, so you see this wildcat here. If I click on it, you'll see the bar is red. So if I was close in level to it, if it was the same level as me, or higher than me, or within 7 levels of me, basically, it would see me and it would attack me. I'm really a lot higher than it, so it's not even gonna try because it's like, whoa, that's instant death for me. But the squirrel over here, notice how he's got a yellow bar. I can spend all day and night next to the squirrel and he's not gonna give a hoot about me. Now, if I attack the squirrel, it'll turn red, and now it's like, oh, it's on, buddy. And it'll come after me. Yeah, which would be hilarious. And same like with this aurochs over here. So this aurochs, notice how it's got a yellow bar. Like, again, I can have a picnic, you know, do whatever I want, hang out with this aurochs. But as soon as I touch it, as soon as I attack it, its bar is going to turn red, and then it's going to attack me back. So, so before was pointing out that, did you just scare it away?
No. It just decided to walk.
It just decided to walk away? because perhaps a minstrel did that. So before was pointing out that if you end up in like, you know, running into an area that's a higher level than you, the radius, because usually mobs have a certain kind of like, nope, not going to attack you, not going to attack you. Oh, I'm definitely going to attack you now. Like how far you have to be from it for it to notice you. Higher level than you have a much bigger radius. They'll see you faster. So just be aware of that if you're out there running around in the world. And yes, who is it? Sargarath. I know I saw something. Or Sargarath. Mentions to the new potential person or any other potential people out there, new people. If you plan on downloading the game and playing tomorrow, you'll be a little disappointed. There's, as they put it, there is an exceedingly rare 19-hour downtime tomorrow for a major overhaul of the in-game store. So right now, the in-game store, it's going to be in the same place. You click on it here, and it comes up. This is what the store looks like right now. This is your last chance to see the store like this, because as of tomorrow, they are taking this away and redoing. They've got a whole new store ready to go, but they have to take down everything. So lotro.com is going down. The forums at forums.lotro.com are going down. The game itself, you won't be able to play the game. It'll be down, and they're bringing it down at midnight Eastern time tonight. And it'll be, the expected downtime is 19 hours, so like till 7 o'clock, I think they said, p.m. So just be prepared for that, that you won't be playing the game tomorrow, basically. And B4 points out, yeah, for us at €8 a month, this is pretty cheap entertainment. Like, we went and saw a movie recently, and it was definitely more than €8 per person. I probably go see like 3 movies. I think I've seen 3 movies in the last 5 years, like in the movie theater, though. So, I'm much happier to spend my movie theater and popcorn money over here than, than to go and play games or go and watch movies. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, and B4 points out that some mobs are cautiously aggressive in that they'll roar at you or just do some sort of threat display and then attack you a few moments later if you're still around there. Let's see. And Lathos points out that landscape difficulty does increase the aggro range, as far as you know. I think you're probably right. All right, let's get ourselves over to the Hall of Vernozal. Let's go talk to some dwarves. Pamela says the new store preview looks more organized. I know, it does look nice, doesn't it? Can you pull up the link? It would be in our Discord also in the yeah, to the new store preview. Thank you. B4 says there's also a delving effect that massively increases the aggro radius. So watch out for that. Okay, so we mentioned earlier that the Hardened Traveler has a reputation faction that you can do with him. I got a little bruise on my knuckle. There's lots of other little factions in the game. This is one of them. And they are called an allegiance. I believe there are 5 allegiances. The first 4 are of like the different races. So you've got like a Hobbit one, an Elf one, and so forth. But those you don't have access to until like level 110 or something like that. But the Gundabad one, there's a whole separate allegiance for just the Gundabad Dwarves. Here in the Hall of Vernozal. And these are the Zelruka Dwarves. And they have taken Gundabad and are trying to restore it back to its original glory. So they're doing a pretty good job here. It's looking pretty nice. And we are assisting with that. So the reason this is open to us is because with the Fate of Gundabad expansion, I believe it was, this faction became available, but there were other things that are lower level, and so this is available as of level 20, level 50, somewhere in there. We're high enough that we're able to do it. Oh, cool. Yes, B4 has put a link in the chat to what the new Lotra store is. Has some information about it and what it's going to look like. It's an article that Cordovan, the SSG community manager, put together and has up on their site. Now, that link will work today, but tomorrow during the downtime, that link will not work. Just FYI. So don't freak out if you try to go there tomorrow and it's not there. It's, yeah. All right, we're gonna do some missions here. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick up these rappers that allow me to get extra tokens with these folks, because I like that. Let's see, what do I have? I have some relics, I believe, in my inventory. Thought I did. Where'd they go? Oh yeah, there they are. Yeah, so these things, let me put them together. Look like little boxes, maybe with a little lock on them. Got a little purple background on a couple of them. We got a blue background on that one. These are boxes that I earned from doing quests with these folks. And they've been sitting in my inventory just waiting for the opportunity for me to do something with them. So, where is their reputation listed? I thought it'd be Zelruka, or is it Gundabad? Oops. Oh, it's on the Allegiance panel, not the Reputation panel. Right. And this one I don't think has a shortcut, as far as I know. So you have to go to the little tick. There's a little caret, little chevron down here at the bottom. Mine looks like a little piece of a tree, but that's okay. It's the same place. And then you go up to character. See how it put a bunch of little leaves in there? Isn't that fun? And then you go down to allegiances. And that's how I get to these guys. So I'm currently I'm on level 21, but I have 0 out of 2,000 reputation with these folks. So let's take this one. And a couple of those puts me at 22. And we'll do a couple more. And one more will put me at 23. Little cross swords animation, so cute. And I've got a couple more of these. And then this one is, 5,000. Zoomy zoom. Do I only get one? And like, yeah, you got the little cross swords going too. I love it. Okay, so that puts me at level 25. And I was level 21. So they have this reputation panel here, which I, until last week, didn't notice the little thing here that you could open it bigger. And so I was like staring at it in teeny tiny, wondering what was wrong. Like, it was so tiny. But you can open this up bigger. So that's something. Anyway, so yes, so we started back here and we've made our way all the way up to here. So as you get into each of these levels, you can claim a bonus at that level. So for like level 22, I can claim this bonus tokens. And it's like, hey, good job, you got to 22. And then I'll claim some more tokens, like, good job, got to 23. I'm completing deeds. So I'll go ahead and claim 24. So that got me a couple more tokens. And I've got now Chapter 8, The Dreadful Dour Hands. And it says on here, your presence has been requested by Prince Ingor himself. Please make your way to him at the Hall of Vernozal in Gundabad. We are there. And I finished some deeds. Is it in my inventory? Yeah. Okay. I think I click on it and it just is. All right. Okay, it's so I have to click on that or the quest doesn't show up at Prince Ingor, but I don't get a quest in my quest log, I think. Or something like that. I don't know. For some reason I gotta click on it. Or maybe I don't. I don't know. But I did. And now he wants to talk to me, so I'll do that. Alright, so he says, a group of dour hands has come to Vernozal. Oh. He says, we could not send them elsewhere, as it is now the way of the Zelruka to be kind to all dwarves in Gundabad. I ask you to cater to them as much as is advisable, but also keep an eye on them. I do not entirely trust these newcomers. Dum, dum, dum. Okay. And then, okay. So sometimes what he does is he has you go and do stuff here in the hall, or go talk to Ozma and go do a mission. And sometimes he takes you into a very specific instance. So that's what we're going to have. So he says, okay, remember to be friendly with these dour hands. I do not want any unpleasant incidents in this hall. Be careful. So this is going to take us into basically a mission. And so monsters in missions sometimes have a special ability. So in this case, they have a twist, and their twist is raging, which says monsters in this mission will enrage at low morale, gaining attack strength and attack speed. So we're going to go ahead and travel in there. The one thing I love about these missions is you could do it on a solo or duo level. So we often do it together, which is great. Let's see. Before it says I assigned the allegiances window to the button next to Gandalf. Well, I've got my plugin manager on that spot, but I could pick the next one over, because the one after that is reputation, but then the next one after that is the LI reward track, which I always just press Shift I to get to it. The social panel's there. I didn't notice that. See, look at all these things I didn't know. Oh, I don't want to push that. Okay. Aaron Bard says, love the fountain in the background there. It's pretty. Let's see. So, Woe asks, is Gundabad still the top dungeon? Haven't played for 6 months and no updates. I don't know. I am not... I'm very much of a enjoy the journey, not the destination player in Lotro. And so I haven't gotten to level 140, actually, on any of my characters yet. I got into the 130s, but then they changed the, I got to 130 and then they changed the cap. And so I haven't been doing endgame content, so I don't know. Maybe other folks in the chat might know. Let's see, there was the new content for Cardalon and Swanfleet. That's very low level new content. It was kind of filling in the map. So that's new. They've got this fall. Okay, so they've got this fall 2 big updates coming. In August, it sounds like, probably second half of August, it sounds like, we're gonna get some new premium housing and river hobbits, so a new race. And what else? That's update 36. Pomelo, keep me on track here. I think that's update 36, or is that 37? And then the next update after that... Oh, good. Before is also checking. 36 was Gondor renewed. Oh, that was a big one. That was some high-level stuff. I forgot about that. Oh, yeah. They opened up a whole new area. Thank you. Yeah, right. I forgot about that. We're on update 36, which was Gondor renewed. If anybody's played in that area... Right, there's the new Karn Doom. Was that part of Gondor renewed, or was that the previous one? Thank you. I love it. Everybody's putting the stuff in the chat. Yeah, Salvage put that. Yeah, everyone is grinding the new Karn Doom, which is end game, I think, right? 140. There's a whole bunch of new 140 stuff. I forgot about that. So yeah, there are. Dog says there are instances in Karn Doom which have been added. Added 1 raid. And others from solo to fellowship. So a total of 4 of them. Update 36 also came with a new story, which came with a new story begins in renewed King's Gondor. We also got landscape difficulty with the Paths of Valour that we were talking about before, and more Delvings. That came with update 36. King's Gondor is continuing the storyline out. Yeah, Salva says the new Karn Doom instances are awesome. I've heard really good things about them. I can't believe I forgot about them. So yes, Palmella does point out there's lots to do if you have characters at 140. And then, okay, so we're on update 36 right now. 37 has the River Hobbits and the new housing, and there was something else big in that one. I can't believe I'm forgetting. But anyway, and then, so that means 38, which is also due this year, has a new expansion. They keep teasing it. And we're also getting a new class, the Mariners. So that's all going to be... Okay, so basically, let me pull up a map. This is the speculation with a couple of... some parts that are known. Let's see, I need to get out of here. Make me bigger. No. I might not be able to do it while I'm in the instance, but basically if you keep going south... Oh, hang on. Oh, no, that doesn't do it. I think because I'm in an instance, I can't get to a bigger map. But maybe I can. Show... Eridor? No, I want to see everything. Maybe I'll go down to Gondor. Or go down to... Show me Gondor. Can you show me Gondor? Yeah. Okay, so here we've got like Central Gondor, Eastern Gondor, Western Gondor. And I think we're going south. So south of Peligir, south of Belfalas, all of that. I think we're headed south there with the next expansion. Yeah, and they're doing a lot of rework on each of the classes is getting work done over time. Oh, hi, baby. Cat cam, go. Hey, sweetie. Let's see. And yeah, update 37 might come with the professions revamp. So basically, you know how currently if you have a, let me get out of the map. You have your crafting trio. So like I'm an explorer, and that means I'm a tailor and a forester and a prospector. Like those are the three that are assigned to go with that. Plump. Here's your deal. You're on camera. I may have to change the angle of that camera. I don't know. We'll see. When you're sleeping, it's cute though. Then they're going to take that apart. So you would just have those three, and you could choose whatever three you wanted. And then they're hoping to add a fourth. And so you'd have whichever four crafting professions that you want. So I could be like, I could, harvest wood and the scholar nodes, and like I could just whatever I want. So they're hoping that comes out in 37. If it doesn't come out in 37, the scenario said 38, if not 37. So that's exciting. Woey asks, what about the graphic update? On Fridays at noon, Cordovan, who's the SSG community manager, streams on here, and he does like news and questions and stuff. And sometimes he brings on, or just turns it over to somebody else at SSG. So one day he had Severlin, who's the SSG community manager, and they did like a Q&A and answered questions from the forums and then also in the chat and stuff like that. And the graphic update was mentioned, and basically they originally were going to do like a huge graphic overhaul and basically like chunk it all on at once. But he says what they're doing instead is they're doing it in small bits and pieces. So it's not as dramatic, it's not as newsworthy, and so people are like, well, it's not happening. That's not true. It is happening. It's just happening in very small pieces. Like they recently did a whole water thing. So I don't know if you can tell. I think I'm on high. Let me double check, make sure my graphics are on the highest they can be. Yeah, I'm on ultra high. Okay, cool. So the water, got redone recently as part of one of the pieces of the graphic overhaul they wanted to do. So I don't know if you can, trying to get a good look at that water. Sagareth, kitty! So you can see some of the water effects have gotten much crisper, and there's a lot more detail involved, and like see how the water moves as you can see like the ripples, you can see the little ripples are happening, you can see the reflectivity of it. So this is an example of something where they did do graphical work, and and have introduced it to the game. Like, it's already live in the game. But it's not like I said, it's not like exciting and newsworthy. It's like, oh, cool, the water's neater, you know? So they're doing it in bits and pieces. Same with the lag work, in case that was another question you had, because I know people are always asking about the lag. They are doing the same thing with the lag. It's not all from one source. It's like, it could be any number of sources, and it is from any number of sources. So they are attacking it in various bits and pieces. Like, they'll find something, they're like, hey, this is impacting this. Okay, so they'll work on that. And then they bring the lag down there, and then they, you know, so anyway, so that's how the lag is also being addressed at the same time. So hopefully that answers your question. Let's see. Salva mentions the Gwathrenrost raid in New Carn-Dûm is very challenging. Awesome. Erenbar did not like the water in the Shire homesteads or several other areas. Oh, that's too bad. But you might need to tweak some settings to fix it. Yeah, I like running on high graphics because I get to see everything and I love it. And plus then it hopefully shows up for you guys in the stream. So that way if you on your computer aren't able to run on high settings, at least you can see it when I'm streaming. You can at least get more of that experience. Yeah, as B4 points out, I have selected ultra high for my overall graphics. Yes, ultra high. Sound like there was thunder right then too. That was funny. And yeah, Sandy says, I have not had major lag in quite a while. Yeah, I've noticed that when I moved from my old computer to my new computer, the amount of times that I had lag dropped like 99%. So obviously I was, you know, my computer was part of the problem, that from my experience. Now I have noticed recently, well, there's been a couple times I was on Laurelin out questing or something, and it was giving me some grief. I was taking time, or rubber band and whatnot. I was like, okay, that's unusual. But we have good internet, we have good computers, so that really helps reduce any lag that can be happening on the, not server side, but user side, I guess you would call it, right? So that, yeah. I think that makes a big difference. Yeah, like B4 points out, lag can be everything from something happening on your computer, things happening between you and SSG, things happening at SSG, you know, so yeah, it's kind of tricky to narrow it down. So we tried to remove at least one factor, and that was to get better computers. That really helped a lot for us. Okay, so let us, oh my gosh, that's so funny. Oh, wow. Sorry, B4 says my camera is good enough that he's able to see Cato breathing. This is Cato, by the way, over here. She's just, yeah, yes you have. You just come down and lay down, didn't you? Yeah, she's sweetie. She is 9 years old. And she actually gets more spunky, though, than the 7-year-old sometimes. She's so, yes, she's a tiny tiger, Pomela, I agree. But yes, you can see her breathing. Ooh. Ooh. Sandy says, mine is usually the internet or lack thereof. Yeah, that's fair. Oh, yeah, thanks, Mubat. Oh, hi, Dame, hi, Pacia, welcome. Do you do the wiki, asks Dogs. Yes, B4 and I are both active on the wiki. Yes, and there is a link to it in case you haven't seen it. It is fan organized and fan maintained. It's not official, but SSG is happy for it to be there and is glad that people are updating it. So they're not going to interfere with it, and they're not going to take it over. All right, let's go talk to this guy. Yeah, that's a good point. B4 and I do edit it from time to time, but we are not in charge of it. Like, we're just one of many of the minions who help make it be what it is. So, okay, so the Dower Hand here says, what a nice hall you and the Zelruka have. We've heard about the rules here. You have to greet us as kin and make us feel most welcome. I say then, give us a proper welcoming. We've been traveling for so long. Look at our axes. They are as dull as an unfavorable hobbit. Give our axes a polish, will you? Can I spit polish them? Does that count? All right, well, let's see. There we go. Well, let's see. We'll pick up some axes and see if we can help them out. Tellurian says, I always tell people we have at least 5 sources of lag. Your computer can have high load, your connection to the internet is borked, IRSP, the internet is all borked, the connection from the internet to SSG is borked, their ISP, or the server itself might be having some issues. Yeah, that's a great way to, because some people are like, I have lag, it's SSG's fault. It's like, maybe not. All right, let me talk to this guy. He says, these are much sharper, yes. We feel a little more welcome. Now, what of some drink? We've been traveling for so long, we are all parched. Our throats are dry as the brown lands. Bring us some ales, will you? I guess. Let's see, where do you get ale around here? Hey, dwarf people, where do you guys get ale? Oh, we can't mount up. What the what? Oh, hey, I see something. All right. Dog says, can I ask a question about the stats? Do I look at the percentage or the number when working out the cap? So, for example, my character has 1 million incoming healing, which is 34%, but the max is 25%, or 1.2 per the wiki. Those are good questions, and I don't know. Hey, when you picked up that barrel, by the way, it looked like it counted for both of us, so that's neat. Okay. So now we just gotta find more. Yeah, maybe on the other side. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna follow Affidel while I take a look at this. So I know you can look at your stuff here, and this is what you're talking about, I'm guessing. Unfortunately, I don't know the answer to your question, but I do know that there are max percentages, because that comes up in the chat sometimes. Like people are talking on like world chat and stuff about the max percentage of, like, they're like, well, don't bother getting any more of that because you already are at 35%, and 35 is the max you can go, or something like that. Now there are things that can temporarily raise things. I don't know if that means it raises it past the max. I would assume so, but I don't know. Yeah, okay, so Tellurian says perhaps the class itself has an inherent bonus to incoming healing. Yeah, I knew what you meant. Typo. Yeah, before it says, I know little about stat caps, but I've also heard what Tellurian is mentioning, that there are class-specific ways to go beyond the general caps. This is probably a really good question for, like, one of the raiders or somebody who's been in that camp. I've only dipped my toe into that a little bit. Basically, when we were on Bombadil, we ended up running with some folks who knew these kinds of things in and out. Like, this is their jam, right? Like, my jam is ask me about festival tokens. We can talk all day, or housing, or costumes, cosmetics and stuff. So, but for some people, like, the statistics and how to get them and what to do with them is their jam. I was trying to think of who. And so anyway, so it was really nice on Bombadil that we were with some people who knew that kind of stuff, because it never occurred to me. Anyway, a lot of that stuff had never occurred to me. But there's a lot of information that you can find in your, in your character panel. Now, I will say one thing is you could find your information here and then go to world chat, put it into your world chat. It's going to start a huge long conversation with a bunch of people who won't agree, but you'll get more information. And you might get information that you find useful. So that would probably be what I would do if I was trying to figure that out. But I do think I have heard something to that effect, that you can, like, temporarily exceed the cap with, a skill of your class. That might be a thing. Also, yeah, we'll bring that up again later, because, like, people like, there's some other folks who sometimes pop into the stream who might know that sort of stuff too. Oh, good question. Tolarian asks, which class are we talking about? Dog says Guardian. Cool. So Salva says the stat cap is 40% for light armor, 50% for medium armor, and 60% for heavy armor is kind of a general, way how it goes. Pamela. She says that is honestly the best description I've ever heard for World Chat. I mean, people get very passionate about things, and who's to say who's right, who's wrong, because it generally comes down to what works for you. But for stats and things changing, there might be, obviously something is programmed to do something. So the question is, are the people who give you these answers, are they seeing something and therefore drawing the conclusion that it does this because of what they saw? Or is it a little bit more scientifically measured in some way? you know? And Salva points out that you can overcap your stats based on the virtues you've slotted. But I think I've heard people talk about that if you overdo something, you don't get the benefit of going over. You just get the benefit up to that point. So what they're talking about is if you go to your trait tree panel, and the third tab down here are your virtues, and these have stats. So for example, I've got this one, Fidelity, which gives me additional tactical mitigation, additional vitality, and additional physical mitigation. So that tactical mitigation and that physical mitigation, if I've already reached whatever the cap is, this additional might not count, is my understanding, is how that goes. Egg Arthur might know some stuff. Egg Arthur knows things. Until he says, ask 10 people, you get 15 answers. That is world chat. Yeah, okay, dogs asked in kin chat and got about 10 different opinions. Yeah. Okay, and yeah, tactical mitigation and physical mitigation are the caps that Salva is talking about. So, Egg Arthur, I don't know if you heard the question. Oh, you are. Yeah, you're in here. Okay, cool. So, and I guess the other question is, dogs, what is it you're trying to accomplish by knowing more about these stats? Like, are you trying to be a better, because you asked about incoming healing. So are you trying to be a better healer, or are you trying to like cause the healing to go faster? Right, yeah. Okay, so before I was pointing out that, yeah, if you have reached a max of one of your stats and you're adding more to that stat, that's kind of wasted. So in that case, you would want to do something else, adding more to a different stat than that one. Yeah, so that's why I guess this would be important. Oh, I just realized something. Because I'm using the... Hang on, I gotta fix something. Because I'm using the JRR skin collection, and I'm on ultra high graphics, there's a thing called 3D portraits. This is unfortunately a little bug in the software, and I'm hoping that maybe one day before we'll have a wild hair and go and take a look and see if we can figure out what's doing this. Because it didn't do it before I updated it, before I got the updated version. Anyway, 3D object portraits. Notice how my little picture is really teeny tiny so there's this big space, but my picture's little teeny tiny here in the corner. I'm going to turn that off because that's how I get out of instances, is by clicking on that picture. And the picture, every time you transition, it gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until it's like a pixel. And it's really hard to click on a pixel sometimes. Yeah. Giggle, giggle. All right, I'm going to talk to this dour hand while you all talk about mitigations. Okay, he says, these ales quench our thirst indeed. Now then, it is so quiet in here. Where is the liveliness? Come, dance with us as we drink some more. All right, we'll dance with the dour hands. Botto meat. Why not? Do I have to dance with each one? Sure, why not? And then we'll dance with this third guy. Oops, I'm still dancing. Hang on. Oh, I guess we already did dance with the third guy. All right. He giggled. He says, all this dancing and drinking has made us hungry. Bring us some food or I will start complaining loudly about how unwelcome you are to the great dwarf explorers. Dude, we've been giving you a drink. We've danced with you. I don't know. What's your deal? I think you just want to be grumpy. You know, there's some people like that, right? No matter what, they just like being grumpy. What can you say? Here's a food. What's a small platter? All right. So let's see. Oh, code. We're finding food. Okay, so yeah, Dogs is saying their main goal here is that they don't want to waste essences and virtues. They're maxed on tactical and physical mitigations at 60% and at 1.5 million. So they don't want to waste things they don't need to. Oh, no need to be sorry about hijacking the questions. I don't think it is a simple answer. So it's okay. I mean, this is the sort of thing where I'm fine to have us like kind of crowdsource this, because if you have this question, there's plenty of other people that are like, how does this work, right? So yeah, I don't mind having this kind of stuff come up in chat. We can talk about it. I feel bad that I don't have like a knowledgeable answer for you, but yeah, we can crowdsource this, right? Maybe. What? The dour hand says, bah, you call this food. He looks about you and speaks very loudly. The Zelruka seem to know nothing about cooking a proper meal. I've eaten better food at a goblin's camp. I think he's trying to start a fight. Are you Mal on, what's it called? What's the day in the Firefly? Yeah. All right, he says, what gives you the right to be offended? Offered hospitality, come to our home, and treat us with all disrespect. And then he's going to T-pose at him. At the very least, why do you have to be so loud? That's his imposing look. He said, last I checked, no one owns Gundabad. Bite your tongue, dour hand. Or what, will I be scolded by your sorry prince? Oh, I'm very worried. Yeah, they're being jerks. He says, oh, how dare you speak ill of Prince Ingor. Prepare for a fight. I'm already prepared, fool. Now he sharpened his axe for him. Oh, no, he punched him. Dude, you forgot to specify whether the fight would be fair. Now off with you. I think you should leave. Does our helpful servant Hobbit not approve? That's true. I do not. So be it. Axes at the ready. Dude, really? I give up. You better. Alright, did we subdue all three of them? I think so. Wow, that one's almost gone. He says, I should slay you all right here. He says, do not stoop down to their level, Prince. I beg of you. I am fine and will recover. Prince Ingor is tempted to kill the dour hands. He says it would be too easy to cut down each one of these sad excuses for a dwarf. If you were not a trusted ally, there would be blood on this floor today. Remember that, dour hands. Now go, leave Vernozal and never come back. If I see you again, I will not hesitate to raise my sword. Heed my word as Prince Ingor of the Zelruka. Leave my sight and never return. That's right, man. They came looking for a fight. You knew it. So Salva says it's always best to overcap for rating. Oh, and you've got to run. You're off to work. Lunch is over. Well, glad you're able to stop by for a bit. Prince Ingor says, did these dour hands come to test my resolve? I have not the time for such fools when the fate of my people still hangs upon my decisions each day. Alright, Clarence says, I cannot find a reason for these numbers, but honestly, I am no expert on the stats. Fair enough. I think I gotta go back and talk to Prince Ingor. Yeah. I'm gonna go, oh hey, we're back in the normal land, but I can get him a goat. Totes my goats. Oh, dog's gotta go. Also, food is ready. Well, I hope we at least moved you forward in some sort of knowledge. Good luck. Let's see. Okay, so Prince Ingor says, "Good riddance to those dour hands. They certainly overstayed their welcome. I believe everyone was glad to see them off. The Hall of Vernozal is not a filthy inn, suitable only for drunken revelry, but a great beacon of Gundabad reclaimed." Sounds like you need a fighting club somewhere to handle those guys. Hey, what do you have for sale, Quartermaster?
Put your back to the past and to the wind.
Paintings. Oh, like housing stuff. Trophies. Two-headed troll trophy. Ugh. Oh, and then we got some cosmetics, it looks like. Let's see if we can get it to show it. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. There we go. That's quite the hobbity look, huh? Let's see what else we got. I'm just going to take a quick look. Different boots, bracers, different helm, pauldrons, the shoulders, chest plate, boots. I don't think any of these are going to end up in my wardrobe, but you know, it's worth always looking. Helm, shoulders, chest plate. It's cute though. Some of it's cute. Okay. Oh, there's a frame I don't have. Glooming tarn frame. Hi, sweetie. I have other cat. It looks like winter gear. Yeah, Dame Hypatia, I agree. Let's see if we can get Casper on. There we go. Hey, babe. How are you? It was a little noisy here earlier because we had... oh, hey, there's a Durin's Forge. We've been getting some of our space more catified, and it's finally completed. So we were putting the area back together, but we haven't been out there with them yet. But we'll check it out. Oh my gosh, there's 10 pages of stuff? Oh, now we're getting into jewelry and armor. More jewelry and armor, shoes. Okay. Stuff I'm not too worried about. That's okay. All right. So, I think Prince Ingor is done talking to us for now. He's got stuff to do, people to see, things to do. So we are going to go do some missions. And, let's see. Aaron Bard says, "Is the bigger dressing room part of the skin?" Yes. For this one, yes, it is. You can also get the bigger dressing room without the skin, and you can do the skin without the bigger dressing room, but I love the bigger dressing room. There's another version of the dressing room that... So, okay, hang on, let me go back to, like, to a wardrobe. So, like, I'll just throw on a dress. So this one, you see how it's big, and then it has, like, it's got I'm in a frame, right? Like, I've got this whole big frame around me with a background that's, like, all cute and stuff. And then over on the side, it has a frame for each of these, and I've got these different drop downs for, like, changing colors of things. So, like, if I wanted to change the chest cover of this to, I don't know, like a turquoise. There we go. So it kind of matches my hat a little bit. Well, not quite, but anyway, so this is, this version of the wardrobe is set to match the UI skin that I have. Oh, I'm not even in this frame. I gave the entire thing over to Casper. You know, Casper, you're cute and stuff, but everybody, you cannot. Oops, let me try and turn this back a smidge. All right, there we go. Now we can both be in the frame. Does that work for you? Anyway, so there is another dressing room that I've seen where there's no frame, there's no background. You're just kind of like hovering in midair. And I think the drop downs are still there, but they are just also kind of just hovering. And he's gone. And I don't remember what that one's called. I think Druid's Fire uses that one. And she streams on Fridays. So could always ask her if you're interested in that one. But yeah, the skin that I've chosen does do the larger thing, which is great. Yeah, I love the bigger wardrobe. dressing room. Yeah, because yeah, you can like see the head. Like I can zoom in to the different things just like you can in the normal one. But yeah, I do like how you've got nice clearance around and you can see everything. You can see like the bow on the back and the things in my hands, and yeah, it's nice. I like this one. So, all right, so let's start with Ozma. We have a large problem, she says. The scouts have come back from Kar Boranak, and a large group of stone giants are causing problems on the peaks of Gundabad. We must do what we can to stop these giants and send them on their way.
This is the right day. We can clear the wrapper.
Ooh. If their caves are ruined and their food is spoiled, then perhaps they will leave these mountains for good. All right, let's go take care of them. Let's do it. Oh, I forgot to look at the twist. Let's see. The twist is reinforcements. Monsters in this mission will attempt to summon allies to the fight. Oh, I already have an instance in part. No, I want to just go in. Let me in, let me in. There we go. Okay. So we are to destroy boulder piles, destroy worm nests, and sour the giant soup. It kind of reminds me of the quest line that you end up doing in Avendim. In Avendim, up in the Eve Spires, there's some giants, and you end up making their food bad, and it's kind of funny. All right, we're gonna destroy this boulder pile. Boy, there's a bunch of red dots, but maybe. Oh nope, there he is. I'm like, I don't see him. I guess he's on a different level. Nope, he's right here. Okay, but do we have multiple levels here? Oops. It sure looks like we might, but I don't know. We'll find out. I don't think we've done this one before, have we? This one seems new to me. We've done most of the missions. Actually, hold up a second. If I go to my quest log, and is it under this or? Well, but I want the list of which ones I haven't done. Okay, so if I go to the deed log, oh no, not deed log, deed tracker, deed log. Yeah, I'm in the deed log. Ovanian. Okay, the one that's sticking out to the side. Here's Gundabad. And let me put that in the middle. Missions Gundabad. Here it is. Okay, so I've done 33 out of the 37. And if I finish this wrapper, then I get 10 mountain marks, a title, loyal to the Zelruka, and then 4,000 virtue experience, which is insane. Okay. So I put that on here. So the ones I haven't done yet are clearing a path, assault on Dun Tarek, or Trike, Drakes up above, and culling the rot. So we must have done this one before, and I just don't remember it. I may have been kind of sleepy. No worries. Cool. Yeah, doing this on level 3 is so much easier than doing this on level 7. When we were doing this with difficulty 7, ugh, just any of these missions, we were just like, die, die, you know, death, 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 death. Sagra says, mobs in this mission will summon allies if they live long enough. Yeah, we definitely bring that time down, don't we, Casper? You know, he's back, but he's like way over there. Silly cat. Stee-Bear, evening to you as well.
Rotate that thing so we can't get that far.
Hey, sweetie. You're a silly boy. I know what he wants. He wants to be covered up. Don't you? Although he's looking at me like I'm crazy. There we go. He likes his little hidey holes. Although maybe if I go this way. Do you want to come hide over here? Now you can't see him on stream, but he's right here. He's He does like being underneath blankets and stuff, though. It's like one of his favorite things. He does it himself. He burrows, yeah. As you say, Aaron Bard, he does burrow under covers and stuff. It surprised us the first time he did it. We didn't realize that was something that he did, and we were like looking for him, couldn't find him, and then found out that he was under the covers. He also will do like if our pillows are side by side, you know, and so you've got the blanket pulled up when you make the bed. There's a little gap between them, and so he definitely goes in between there a lot. That's like easy mode for him. But I've also noticed that he'll do it on the couch. Like if you have a blanket over the back of the couch, he'll climb, like, you know, between the couch and the blanket. So actually he's got a little nest on the couch right now. That's why I didn't make it prettier over there, because I figured he was going to come back to that, but he didn't yet. Here, let's see if I can. You can see we put blankets over him, so his head's just sticking out here. Yes, didn't we do that? We're very silly humans. Yeah. He seems to like his silly humans, though. Yeah. Yes, and we had construction noise happening, so all of that is done, so which always makes the cats happier. It's nice and quiet. Yeah. So yes, he's a burrower, aren't you, babe? He's cute. She doesn't burrow as much. She just likes to sleep on things. She's been sleeping on the tall cat tower again recently. So the tower back there behind me. She's been climbing up there, and I don't know if sleeping is the right kind, but she's definitely like hanging out up there more lately, reposing. It's been great. I'm very happy because we had it further over, and she wasn't up there as much as I would have thought she was going to be. But then because we had it further away, and I moved it closer to the windows because we have a whole big bank of windows over here, and she seems to have taken the bait, as it were. Ha 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 ha, which I thought she might. That's this one here I'm talking about. Yes, the little chitter monster. She sounds like a tribble sometimes. She gets to purring and she sounds like a tribble, and it's so cute. Sagra says, my cats don't do normal cat stuff. They are weird. Like, what do your cats do? Oh, hey, our mission's complete. Woot woot. He says, good work with the stone giant scent running. This place should remain safe for now. Let us return. Report your success to Ozma. Ozma. Oh, yeah, I can mount up. Oop. I lit a candle earlier because it needed it. There's a lot of wick and not very much left in there. It's whew. Does your cat play fetch? No, our cats do not play fetch.
Every once in a while.
Every once in a while?
Like, I can toss that little rattly ball and Casper will go bounce right under it.
Does he bring it back to you?
Not very well.
No.
But
Once in a while, they'll chase something that we throw. All right, assault on Dun Trike. Oh, this is one of the ones we need. Oh, I forgot the twist. Oh well.
inspiring presence.
So Sagra says they don't like laps and there's no fetching. Do they chase anything? Oh, hey, I finished a mission weekly. I will take character boosts. All right. Hey, we've entered a restricted area and will be removed if we don't leave. I'm guessing we're going up this hill. Let's try that. Whoop, yep, I was on the right track. We're getting shot at by something. Who's shooting at me? Oh, you are. Hey, come back here. I want to shoot at you. They do play with their felt mice. Very nice. Here, I'll scoot this way a little bit. Yeah, these two, they call them like fishing poles, the thing where you've got like a stick and then you've got the line that comes off and there's something hanging on the end of it. They don't really get into it if you do that with them, but once in a while, and more likely they will like attack it if it's hanging somewhere. Like I've tucked it into, there's a scratching post, and the scratching post looks like a palm tree. So it's like got the trunk is all the is all rope wrapped around whatever, and then it's got like these leaves that come out, but the leaves have like wire in them, so you can make them at different angles and stuff. So cute. And so I took one of those fishing poles and I kind of like weaved it in between the leaves so it kind of sticks out, and then there's a line hanging down. And sometimes they enjoy that. Sometimes they'll play with that, like when nobody's looking. I mean, that's really what it is. They are resistant to attacking things if we're involved, but if they just like do it on their own, then it's they're much more likely to partake. It's kind of interesting. I'm not sure why. But I don't know, being watched is somehow too exciting. Oh well, he's a little lower than the camera. And it looks like you either get me or you get him. So, also, thank you. Definitely could do with that healing. Oh, the palm tree cat scratcher. Thank you. Yes. It's the cat scratchers here are called crab ball. Crab ball. What's that? Crab stem. So I think crab is like their scratching, their word for scratching or descriptor. Yeah, I wonder if I should do foods here. I'm getting a little beat up. All right. Aw, Sargra says, my cat, they're very aloof. It makes me sad sometimes. My first cat was a love bug. Aw, yeah, I could see that. The last cat I had before these two was kind of a cat that I inherited from roommates that moved out and left her behind. And so I took care of her. I took ownership of her. I don't think I'm supposed to go this way. And we have to secure some things, and we have to collect stolen supplies.
Let's go to the north.
Yeah, looks like we gotta go a different way. Anyway, she wasn't socialized very well as a kitten, and she had definite trust issues. She was also a black cat. I don't know, sometimes you get that with black cats. I mean, she was solid black, not even a speck of white on her. So I don't know how much of it, well, there's definitely some nurture. And maybe some nature involved with that. But yeah, she was not a lap cat. Like, she sat on my lap, what was it, like maybe twice, maybe 4 times in her entire life that I had her. I had her for like 7 years, 9 years, somewhere in there. No, not 9.
12 to 18, 26.
Yeah, maybe 2012 to 2018. Yeah, that sounds about right. So maybe 6 years. Okay. And yeah, in that entire time, I think she sat on my lap like 2 or 4 times. I used to know these details. And each time she did it, I was like, holy crap, is there something wrong with her? Like, is she sick? Like, because it was just so unusual. And you couldn't really pet her, she was, it was just too much for her. She would get overstimulated, and then she would like freak out and start clawing and stuff. So that was a little sad. We worked with her. Eventually, B4 also became part of her world, and we both worked with her quite a lot, and just getting her to trust us and stuff like that. Like, when I first took ownership of her, I would just basically try to be in the same place as her and let her know that, like, I wasn't going to touch her, I wasn't going to approach her. She didn't have to run away. Like, it was that kind of level of trust that we had to start with. So it took a little while, but she got to the point, though, where she would sleep on our bed, like at the foot, so that way we couldn't grab her or anything. But she would sleep at the foot of the bed, on the bed, while we were there, So that was really good progress. And she liked things that like smelled like us, so that was nice. Like she would seek out like a jacket or something, you know what I mean? Like that's where she would lay down. But yeah, she had a lot of little weird quirks and stuff. And yeah. So I felt bad for her because like it just seemed like everything was so hard for her, you know, like she really just struggled to enjoy things. But it was really funny because she got to a point where she really liked being around her humans, like in the same room. But it wasn't like she would want to interact with you, but she definitely wanted you to be nearby. So that was kind of cute. One of our roommates, she kind of got to like one of our roommates, and our roommate is not a cat person. That roommate wasn't, but she would joke that the cat was sleeping at her because the cat would come into the room and lay down somewhere so that way she could, you know, keep an eye on her. While the other person was working, while our roommate was working, she was like, she's sleeping at me again. It was pretty funny. All right, we recovered supplies and brought down the Angmar numbers. So that place will be a threat soon, no more. Hey, do you want to climb under the blanket here? I know there's a blanket. You could go under it. I know he's kind of like, what? He's like, I don't know about this. He's jumping. Where's your good boy? Oh, I think I just leveled. Oh, there he goes, over to the couch. Well, you can watch him climb over onto the couch. I'm going to turn this back to the middle, though. So, yeah, he's probably burrowing in behind me. Yeah, you can see he's going to start burrowing back there. So cute. All right, so what's the next one? Let's go ahead and do clearing a path. A path. All right, so the twist here is raging. They will enrage at low morale. Sure. Let's see. What was it? Okay, so let's see. Before it says, I'm used to thinking of cats as roommates that occasionally want to hang out. Dame Hypatia says, Sagrath, we had one of those too. Was more of a decoration object that needed to be fed. No touching at all. Yeah, that cat that we had, definitely the belly was a trap. Like, don't, if she got to a point where she enjoyed laying in the sun, and she would lay in the sun in the same room as you, and she would roll over and you could see her belly. But yeah, it was a trap. You did not want to engage. But whereas these two, they, especially Kato, she likes to have her belly rubbed. We still have combat back here, by the way. There was one inside the other one or something. I don't know. I don't know, right? So let's see. Sarah said they'll both roll over near your foot and want you to rub their tummies, but they don't like being held or cuddled. Okay. Yeah, our two are not used to being held and cuddled, but we are, we're doing it anyway, just like a little bit at a time, you know? So like we'll pick them up and just hold very gently for like 10 seconds and then put them down, you know, and then another time, you know, a little longer, that kind of thing. So we're slowly getting them used to being picked up by us and that it's, you know, not a scary thing. It's funny because he is more okay with it than she is. Kato is still very much like, yeah, I don't think I like this being picked up business. But I think B4 is actually making a little more progress with her than I am. Because I think he's able to hold her a little bit longer. Although one day, what was it? There was something going on upstairs. And it was like construction or something was like, I think, happened on the top floor. And we were on the middle floor. And so what we had done is we'd created like kind of a cat space down here on the ground floor during that construction. And so she was on the bed and I was coming downstairs and I just picked her up and carried her down with me. And she did not freak out on the stairs and she just let me carry her down, which is great. So that was good progress. I think it was because I just was like, this is just going to happen. I'm just going to do it. I wasn't like nervous about it. I just didn't let myself get nervous about it. I just was like, okay, deep breath. We're just going to go. Here we go. Because I think they sense when I'm nervous or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, he definitely comes around and will lay down with me if I'm really tired, if I'm not feeling good, stuff like that. It's very sweet. Sagra says, my first cat would make a figure 4 with my legs at night, and he'd sleep in the nook. Aww. Oh, you would make a figure 4 with your legs? Yeah, I gotcha. And he'd sleep. Yeah, that's so cute. Arthur says, my cat seems to like cleaning himself while sitting on my lap much more than sleeping or being petted. But he'll curl up next to my feet if I raise the footrest of my recliner. Nice. Oh my gosh, I knew a cat that, yeah, the recliner was near like a little gas fireplace. And so the cat would go over and wait and have them put the footrest up and then have them put the fire on so the cat could be warm on the little footrest. Like, that is the ultimate in pampering. That's fantastic. You gotta love it. Let's see. Aaron Bard had couldn't figure out why, but the last cat liked to give high fives, thankfully with no claws. Yeah, it's really interesting. Kato here will do a thing where she will be standing and then she like lifts her paw and as if she wants to touch something. We're not sure where that behavior comes from or what she's, because they obviously were trained by their previous owner in some ways. Like, we definitely have seen behaviors that it's like, okay, this is a trained behavior. This is not something that they just came to naturally. So trying to figure out, like, where did this come from? Because she does it, but he doesn't. So that might be just her. I don't know. It's really wild. But yeah, she picks up her paw as if she wants to, like, tap something or grab something. It's really interesting. And she's very gentle, like, very slow about it, like, left, like, me, you know? I don't know. She did that one time, though, when she was when I think she wanted me to lift the covers up and let her climb under. She's got her own different style of burrowing. And then she's like, and I didn't do it, I guess, within the time limit allowed by the cat, because then she started licking my eyebrow and was like, I'm trying to sleep. So, I don't know, maybe there was something involved there. Let's see. Yeah, before it says, these like hanging out and getting scritches, but they strongly dislike being picked up. I would say they less strongly dislike it than they used to, though. I'd say we have definitely made progress. Aaron Bard says, my kibble cat will jump up when I am reading and tuck his head under my chin and purr like a motorcycle. That's awesome. All right, let's get those started.
Do you need something?
All right, oops. Hey, I completed 80 Gundabad missions. Bam. Nice.
Never underestimate the enemy.
Wait, am I... Oh, is that all of the stuff? Wait a minute. Let's see. Monsters in this mission will apply a corruption buff to nearby allies. I'm just looking at what's rolling through my general. Let's see. I completed a deed, which is... Oh, okay. I completed 80. Yeah, let's see if I can get it to show me. Here we go. And I got 2,000 virtue experience for that. And I got some Lotra points. I got 5 Lotra points. That's cool. And added experience for the determination virtue, which is now at level 40. That's another reason why I'm actually okay with continuing to level, because I want to open up space for my virtues stuff.
Well, you just added 1 level to all of them.
Yeah, right, because it's half of your level rounded down. So when you're like level 81, you know, it's 40. But when you're level 82, it's 41. So that's nice. Sagra says, I wonder if it is too warm here for them wanting lap time. They won't hang out in sunbeams either. That's interesting. I would say that could be it because we've had a cold snap recently and the cats started sleeping on our bed again. And then it warmed up and they were like, psh, we're out. And they sleep down here or they sleep on the spare bed or whatever. So it does seem like they prefer to sleep with us when it's warm, when it's cooler. You seem to be in combat, but I don't know with what. So weird. There's nothing here.
I got it.
Or unless there's a tunnel the other direction. I don't know. Oh, okay. You're good now.
I'm just trying to.
Oh, Aaron Bright said that's how the high five started. You put your hand down, you gave a little tap, and it became a thing. That's sweet. That's fun. Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe it was just a thing that she used to do with her previous owner. And she's like expecting me to do it. And I'm like, ah? She's like, I gotta train you. There's like, what did I read somewhere? Somebody had written like that basically why cats keep bringing you like dead animals and stuff is because they basically think that we're big, dumb, hairless kittens. And they gotta help us out. So sometimes I think about that when I think about cats and what do they think of us, and they're like, oh, you're so dumb, I have to teach you. You know, that sort of thing. Crystal encrusted wargs. Yeah, they're kind of pretty, aren't they? Oh, we have to destroy these crystals. I'm about to get, toasted. That's okay. What did you find? Oh, there's a corrupted crystal over here we walked past.
Crystal encrusted warg sounds like some hoity-toity dish.
Crystal encrusted warg says before. Sounds like some sort of a hoity-toity dish. It's like those gold-covered chocolates. Yeah, before says as well because they don't like being picked up. That's true. They will take off if it looks like we're about to pick them up. But when we put them down, they don't run away. They just keep standing near us. Yeah, it's really wild. Like, there's been times when I have picked him up, and then he's, he gets to wiggling, so I put him down. Then he does kind of a loop. He comes back. I'm like, okay. And so I pick him up again, and then, I pet him for a minute, and then I put him down, and he kind of does a little circle, and then he comes back, and I pick him up again. Like, I've done that before. And it's really wild. Like, all right, I'll just keep picking you up, bud. Yes, with a side of candied spider. Bleh. I'm not as like anti-spider as Tolkien was, but I don't want to eat them. I'm not Spider's George. No, thank you. He's an outlier. Hmm? Oh, you're gonna try and fall down? Oh, okay. Well, that's good, because that would be a bummer to mistakenly do that. Seems like the kind of thing I would do. Oh, Sandy, you gotta run. Thanks for the stream. Talk to you soon. We'll see you later, Sandy. Have a good one. Alright, we are looking for an entrance. And for why are you still in combat? It's so weird. Oh, now you're out. Okay. How odd. Man, this place is quite the maze. I'm glad you remembered how to get in and out. Mission complete. Hooray! So the way these things work is, yeah, when you finish the mission, there's a mission reward box if you're in a duo. If you're a solo, I think it just automatically bestows to you because there's nobody else anyway. But it randomly assigns the mission tokens anyway, so I don't know why it doesn't bother just do that. Even with a duo. But anyway, you open the box if you're in a duo. And then you say hi to the scout, and the scout brings you back there. And then you come over here and you turn it in. Alright, so... Oh, you know what? I put that... Hang on a second. Rovanian thing on the end. Not completed. I must have put it on my tracker when we were in the mission. Okay. So the last one we have is Drake's Up Above. Hey, Ozma, do you have drinks up above?
You need something?
So this will be the last one that finishes this deed of do the 38 or whatever. So that's wild. Okay. I have a new mission for you. My scouts have reported monstrous footprints upon the walls of High Zundergrot recently. They may be of a passing beast, but do you think you could go look into it and make sure? And if there does have to be a creature taking nest up there, make sure you dispatch it quickly. Okay. And let's see, the twist is surprise attack. You may be ambushed after completing your objective. All right, so we'll be prepared for that business. So a lot of these missions take place in what would be landscape. So we're out, well, okay, it doesn't show you there, but we're in High Sundagrot, which is here's Gundabad. So it's probably out on this map somewhere. Yeah, it's in the Great Mountain somewhere. Yes. Yeah. Could be Erd Mithrin. Anyway, it's up here.
Oh, it's by Lindleby Housing.
It's by Lindleby Housing. Yeah. Okay. So Ravanian. Wells of Blank. Oh, there we go. Okay. So here's Sundergrad. Oh yeah, right. That was listed as one of the things that's nearby. The upcoming Hobbit housing. So yeah, so we are out in the landscape area, and because we are level 82 and this is level 140 area, it's like, you know, it'll pop up with that thing saying you have entered a restricted area. You know, we're gonna kick you out, but it doesn't because you're in the mission, so it's fine. Just be aware that that might pop up if you are doing these. Okay, so we've got a cold whelpling, awesome. Agartha says for the Gundabad missions, you get a box even when solo. Huh. Okay. Well, thanks for that knowledge. It seems like they could just be like, here, have stuff.
Some of them they do.
Yeah, I like the ones where they're just like, here, have stuff. But then again, I also like the quests where they're like, here, have stuff, and I don't have to pick. I like those better too. All right, so we're investigating these drake tracks, and we also need to destroy some eggs. The egg exterminate. Which I haven't seen. Oh, there's an egg. All right, cool. I'm guessing. Okay, whatever one of us does, it counts for both of us, so that's handy. So yay for eggs and tracks. That is. Eggs and tracks and tracks and eggs and eggs and tracks. Aaron Bard says, I like to see what I'm getting in loot. I suppose. But, I mean, I'm fine with them just being like, have tokens. Done. Like, that'd be fine. Like, when you turn into the... When you turn it in, they could just give me all the tokens there. I'd be okay with that. But I guess they like to randomize it, so... Maybe that makes it more interesting. Oh, that wasn't what I need. I need focus. There we go. And they're all dead. I'm finally ready to shoot something. Good timing, huh? Oh, hey, you've got a sneak attack. All right. Cool. I'll get these eggs. So yeah, it's been, by the way, a little cool in the Netherlands this summer. Not the whole summer, but for like the last month maybe or so. We've only been around 20 degrees Celsius. So that's been weird. And it's been rainy recently, so we're getting a lot of rain, which is crazy because earlier, like late spring or so, we went through a time where we had basically a month with no rain at all. Like I had bought some new plants out in the backyard and put out in the backyard and they were fine. And then we went through a month with no rain. I was like, wonder if I ought to water these things now? Because I was not expecting that. Like that's one of the things I like about the Netherlands, right? Like everything, it just stays wet out there. I don't have to take care of these things, but apparently I do from time to time. So Anyway, so now we've got lots of rain, so I haven't had to deal with the watering things in a while, and that's been nice. Oh, it said I was open, then it said I wasn't. We got another one. There's one over here. Oop, I may be followed. And then the second half of August is supposed to get hot, though. So then we won't have cats on our bed again. So yeah, B4 says it's currently 18 degrees, which is like 65 in Fahrenheit. So weird. Yeah, Dame Hypatia says, yes, and now it comes all at once, all hours of the day. Man, you're not kidding. Like, we had like 24 hours of rain yesterday. Like, it just didn't stop. And sometimes it was like just a little rain, a little drizzle. And then sometimes it was like pouring down. Speaking of, we've got a leak on the roof now. So annoying. So, gotta deal with that. All right, what are we doing? We need one more drake eggs. Drake eggs.
Where do we hit an exit?
This does look exit-like.
I'm guessing there are no more eggs.
Okay, well, let's see what's back here. So, Aaron Bard asks, what is the origin of dragonkind in Middle-earth? Off the top of my head, I don't know. I know they're like worms, like not wriggle worms, but WYRMS worms. Roof leaks can be hard to track down, yeah. Well, we got windows, dormer windows put up in the last year. So that's probably what's causing it. Oh, cool. So yeah, B4 has posted a link into lotr.fandom.com. I think there's another one like TolkienLore.com or something like that. Let's see. Egg Arthur says, according to some lore, Morgoth created dragons and drakes. B4's got, yes, they were originally bred by Morgoth during the First Age to serve as powerful war beasts. The first dragon ever seen in Middle-earth was Glaurung, titled as the Great Worm. Maybe back up this way? I'm still not finding it. I'll keep looking. And father of the dragons, whom Morgoth used to great effect during the 4th and 5th battles in the War of the Great Jewels.
Apparently we did not want to leave one undestroyed.
Hey, if you ever come in and do this mission, keep an eye out very carefully as you're going through.
Can you track egg?
Yeah, can I track egg? You know what, though? I wonder... Oh, hey, if there's something next to it, but no. Cool. Yes, TolkienGateway.net. That's another one I was thinking of. Yay! Okay, destroy the Drake Matron's nest. What do you want to bet? It's back down where we were.
I'm doing a search.
That's a good point. I wonder if I can... What do we think? Ancient Evil or Creature? Let's try Creature. There are no creatures here that we know of.
Alright, let's do it.
Dame my patient, I like it. If you're in doubt, Sauron made him. Actually, if you're in doubt, probably Morgoth. It seems like Morgoth got big on making all sorts of wacky things. I mean, actually, that's a good question. Like, between Sauron and Morgoth, who made more things? I would think Morgoth. Because I think Sauron really was just big on the Uruks, right? You know, doing the crossbreeding stuff. But was there much beyond that from a Sauron perspective? More, it's in the name. Morgoth. And less Ron? Hey, there's a drake nest. I wonder what will happen when we destroy this nest. The Drake Matron has noticed your rampant smashing. Defend yourselves. Hey, I wonder if she's trippable. But wow, that was impressive. Invisible Drake. Oh, invisible nest. Oh, okay. That's awesome. That's fun. All right. So, in just a moment, things are going to go nuts on my screen. Because I'm about to finish off that thing. All right, so this mission, Drake's up above. It's the last one. Kajong. So that completed all missions in Gundabad. I've done each one of them at least once. And my currency's capped. Oh, wow. Gundabad mountain marks I'm capped. Well, I better go figure out something to buy with those things. My virtue cap was reached. That's what I was expecting. So let's go to fidelity's done. Honesty. Let's do honesty. And title awarded loyal to the Zelruka. And yep, there's the deed that we completed. Dun, dun, dun. Hooray. Oh, I gotta come up with something to buy. Probably that frame. I don't think I have that frame yet, so let's do that.
To be done.
Let's see, where was that? Where did I see that frame? Wasn't that on the first page when we were looking earlier? Maybe not. It was on the second page. I could have sworn I saw a frame. There it is. All right. Wait, that's not the right marks. Those are 78 marks.
Oh,
This is not the right place.
right.
Oh yes, cat bath time. You are correct. I think it's the people over by the mounts.
Yeah.
All right, Mission Recruiter, you got anything for
you
me?
just get relics of Gundabad.
Oh no, you're the other thing. Oh, I think we did that last time. We just came over here and bought some relics of Gundabad. Because, let's see, we got stone trolls, we've got a cold drake trophy, got music, and then we get into jewelry and armor. And yeah, okay, so I will just buy some relics of Gundabad.
Want to claim 25?
I'm buying, so I'm down to 300 marks, or 300 tokens, whatever they are. Okay, so I have a whole big stack of things here. Sweet. What level you want to do?
I was going to claim 25.
25 what? 25 boxes?
25.
Oh, up to level 25.
The 11 layers, that's correct.
Hang on. Character, agent stuff. I could just let my boxes stack up, I guess. Or what?
Okay, I'm going to take 25.
Zoom, zoom, zoom. All right, we're going to claim level 25, which gives me some tokens. Hooray. And I got a chest guard of kept promises. Interesting. Let's take a look. Oh, hello. It just did it. It's medium armor, which is what I do. Agility, more agility, less vitality, finesse instead of resistance, and about the same critical. Yeah, sure. Let's give that a try. Let's see. I'm at 18,557. That put me at 18,377. So my total morale went down with that. But I did gain finesse rating. So maybe overall it'll be a good, you know, swap. Let me drop this in here. I don't need this. Okay. Hey, Arthur said, is there a non-rampant way to smash a drake's nest? Probably not. Oh, hey, and Zova is ready to talk to me.
Glory awaits.
Hello. She says, I see that you have completed many missions in Gundabad since we last spoke. You have done well to aid the Zelruka and all those who worked to reclaim the mountain home. I reward you for your efforts. Whee. Well, should we do a couple more missions?
Sure.
All right.
Kept that
Oh,
Put your back
looks
to
like we
the
have one
past
left.
and
Horin
to the
says,
lead.
I have a new mission for you. My scouts have come back from the Misty Mountains where they report a large pack of cold drakes heading in the direction of Frimbarg. This is one that we have previously done, so this is not new to me.
We've done them all now.
Well, we've done them all. So this one, the twist is persistent cold. Some monsters in this mission will apply a persistent cold debuff that can only be removed at bonfires found in the mission. So not even my hunter fires, huh? Aw, he's all curled up on the couch. He's like, meow. Hey, Thorcast, what up?
My father,
He says, perhaps we should not have returned to Rimbarg, my friend. Everything is the same as when I left for Elderslade. We should retire for the night and return to Gundabad in the morning. He starts to get ready for the night, then pauses abruptly. What? What is that sound outside? Oh no, an assault has begun. We must hurry. All right, so there's an assault. Is there a pepper? Haha. All right, let's go outside. And drakes are attacking under cover of darkness. Oh, there they are. He's going to guard the haven. We must protect Rimbarg. Who are they fighting up there?
Drakes.
Nay. Oh, they're fighting dwarves. Okay. Well, I just saw the drakes getting excited, but I didn't see anything, like... I was wondering, why are the drakes not coming down to attack us?
So it looks like there's a south location.
Okay, so this is a fire that'll probably help me get cured of the stuff. Oh yeah, finish that deed. Close that up. Oh, I got 3,000 virtue experience. Neat. Oh, okay, so there's different camps. There's that one, and there's a couple more. Oh, I see you are...
They might come in multiple directions.
So we'll have to keep an eye out, because they might come in from multiple directions. Do not allow the dwarves of Frimbarg to be defeated. Okay. Now, does it say? Does it give us an indication of an attack? So let's say we have dwarves here. Oh, nice.
Some in the east.
I'm not seeing anything in my general saying, you know, you are being attacked. Or anything like that. But yeah, you got that. Cool. Okay, so we've got 3 groups, I think, of dwarves to protect. So we've got this set here. We've got this set here. And then we've got that set over there. Okay. Are you dragging them along?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Okay. Cool.
standing on a campfire.
Nice. No attack happening? Okay. Cool. Sure, what is that effect doing to me? Gnawing cold. I'm getting minus 246 frost mitigation. It'll last for an hour. Wow. That's a long time. Alright, fine. I'll stand on the unlit pyre. Oh, do I have to light it too? Goodness.
I don't think unlit's going to be very warm.
There we go. Okay, I've lit the fire. I don't know, I'm standing in it. I'm not getting rid of the thing yet. Ah, there we go. Now it's gone. I have a soothing warmth. Huddling close to the fire, you feel the cold slowly dissipate from your body. Nice. Well, that's good, because this dragon's just blowing all sorts of cold stuff on me. Better run up the stairs, see how they're doing. Oh, you got it. Okay. Insight. Okay. How's the fire at the bottom? Looks like it's on. Sweet.
Yeah. Fire by the eastern entrance has gone up.
Did you get an alert?
And they told us in...
Oh, there it is. The fire by the northern entrance has gone out. Alright, let's go find that. Or I'll see if I can drag this one over then. You must face target. Yes, I know.
I didn't realize there was a south camp.
Alright, so you've got that one. You're lighting that one, right? Cool. Oh, we got a drake coming here. Yeah, so this is interesting. Yeah, I've got like these 3 towers to defend in a sense. Oh, I see red dot on the map. What is this, north? Trying to figure out how these are designated. Alright, so north is clear for a moment. And east. Fire by the southern entrance has gone out. You got it? Cool. Oh, I see a drake incoming over on north. So I'm going to put a trap down over here, see if that helps. Oh, we got another incoming on north. Hehehe. The drakes are trippable. That was great. Alright, I'm lighting a fire. Sweet. And I'll go check on these guys. We have 2 minutes left. Yep, we got a drake coming here.
One to the east, one to the south.
Oh man, the guy just put out our fire. Little turkey. We'll light that fire back up. Cool. Alright, and how's north doing? North looks good. East looks good. Got a minute and a half. Here we go. Got another drake coming. Gonna do a heart seeker on him. Oh yeah, that got about half. That was nice. Okay. Nothing there.
One to the south.
You got it? Okay. This is nice doing this with 2. Aaron Bards asks if hunter fires could help in an instance like this, or mission like this. I would guess not. I'm guessing it's these fires are specific to this instance.
Hopefully get the cold effect again, we can try.
But yeah, that's true. If we get the cold effect again, we could give it a try. Hey, Arthur says, didn't expect a Drake concert on Lotro stream. Yes, we're very careful about, making sure we don't get in trouble for streaming music. Oh, she's curled up and going back to sleep. The Drake invasion has been defeated. It still says 10 more seconds.
Well, I've got mission ones here, so.
Oh, okay. Sure, we'll go check in with Thorkest. Mission rewards. Woot woot.
Right.
Good work. You saved Rimbarg. We should return and report back in. Oh, it's late though. Tomorrow we'll return. I look forward to telling Offwald of this adventure. Nice. All right, so that gives us that one. He says, with Rimbarg intact, the supply lines from the Misty Mountains will remain unbroken. I worry the Frost Horde may try something like this again. We must remain vigilant. Cool. All right, let me see if how far I can go on allegiances. So I can do, let's see, I've got a box here. Here a box, there a box, everywhere a box. That puts me into 27, so I'll go ahead and claim 26. And you said you claimed 27?
I can.
Maybe we'll leave it for next time, because that's the next chapter.
Yeah.
Trophy of Frost. And I can actually go ahead and push my reputation, though. Zoom, 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 zoom. Up to 28. Oh, we're missing the little... There we go. Oh, that's it. Okay. So I have enough that I'm into 28. Which, it only goes to 30, so we're getting close to the end of the reputation. I'm getting close to the cap. Ooh, there's a goat. The goat of kept promises.
Damn it, totes.
You know, what makes me sad is people can't see the name of your mount.
Yeah, you can.
I can see the name of my mount. You can see the name of my mount if it's on screen. Okay, there. I didn't even rename this one, apparently. Yes, it's enough for you to know that its name is Totes. This one says Fleet Hoof. You know, we're going to rename Fleet Hoof. That's silly. Oops. Apparently I'm in cap lock. Totes. My goat. Totes my goats. Yes, she's totes my goats. Let's see. Agartha says the only function of the fires, as far as I know, is to dispel the freezing debuff. Do hunter fires do that? Let me double check here. Yeah, if you want to go ahead and do your prep stuff. Where's my hunter fire? Here it is. Can I put one here? Apparently I can. Hey, hope you don't mind this fire I just stuck in the middle of your hall. Yeah, it's that. Oh no, I think I have the soothing warmth from before, but I think, is that no, it's this one. Oh, this is it. While camping, morale and power regeneration rates are increased. So, really? I'm getting power regen, morale regen, and stealth detection? Apparently. Okay, let me run back over there. Okay, so that's clear of those. Oh, interesting. It's giving me these three. Soothing warmth and campfire allows execution of recipes requiring a campfire and camp. That thing I was just talking about before. How interesting. So Aaron Bard points out, I think a party member can cook on them too. I did not know that was a thing. Oh, I'm not a cook. I will have to play with that. That is fascinating. I had no idea that a cook could use a hunter's campfire for cooking. So that's fun. Hunters also have a campfire skill that works a bit like a milestone. Yes, that's a different skill though. That's the red one, Return to Camp, which is a group travel skill. It takes your whole fellowship if your fellowship can go with you, which is nice. Yeah, Aaron Bart says, yeah, you can take your fellows back to a campsite you set, which is nice. Here's a funny thing is if you're playing a hunter, you don't get that skill until like level 22 or 26, somewhere in there. And before you are that level though, if you come across a campfire that you can set to, a hunter fire, you can go ahead and bind it to that even though you don't have the skill yet. And then when you get the skill, it's already bound to that location. So you could have like it already set up, which is kind of funny. I tried that one time on a new hunter. Let's see. Agartha says the debuff isn't usually much of a factor. I don't usually bother wasting time dispelling it. Yeah, but if you're standing around like waiting for something, then I do that sometimes. And let's see. Oh, Agartha points out that it's only recipes that require campfires, not those which require actual ovens. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, so I have completed this deed, which got me some more tokens. Oh, right, we're going to look at that goat. Hang on, I forgot the name of it already. Character, allegiances, Goat of Kept Promises. Let's look at that real quick. I want to look at mounts. The Goat of Kept Promises. Let's see, what does this guy look like? Looks like he's kind of a dark gray kind of fur, and then he's got like a tealish green kind of pointy raiment on him and some gold accoutrement. That's cute. I think I will probably stick with my current goat, which is this one, the fireworks laden goat. Let me show you my fireworks laden goat. Oh, and actually, Aphidil's on the same thing. Because I like the kind of, I don't know, it's got kind of like this pastel thing going on, which is different from a lot of the other mounts that you get. A lot of the other mounts have, I don't know, they don't have this particular blend of pastels, and I'm kind of enjoying that. So that's been kind of fun. Oh, Dame Hypatia is off. My PNP session is starting. All right, well, have fun. Moobot, thank you. There are benefits to subscribing to Lotro, being a VIP. So you can see our little kitty cat. Hi, baby. Sometimes if I pet her when she's sleeping like this, she will roll over and she'll be like, pet my belly. And she actually does it. She does want her belly pet. I was getting a little bit of a tribble there. Yes, you were. Yes, you were. If she goes all tribble, I'll move the microphone over to her. She's starting it. Let's see. Steve Bear says, I was upset that I missed out on the Shire horse pack. I was working all the time and it slipped by. The Shire horse pack. Did I miss that? Is it called Shire? Must not be. Oh, the harvest thing. I think I did get that. Oh, maybe not. Harvest map? No. No, not that. Farmer's Fair, Treasure Hunt, Harvest Math, Harvest Math, Harvest Math. Not that. The Luxurious Coffer. That's probably it. Nope, it's not Luxurious, but I think I know what you're talking about. And was there a mount in there? Oh, gosh, now I can't remember. Yeah, with the draft horses. Okay, I think I got it, so let's see if we can narrow this down. I have a lot of mounts. One of my objectives, one of my goals, is to collect all the mounts. So every time there's a mount available, I get it, if I can. Not all the ones for Mithril Coins. I haven't gotten all the ones for Mithril Coins yet. Homesteads and Harvest Coffer. I did do that. Is it called Homestead? Homestead Steed. That's what it is. And it's got these big floofy... hang on. I'll put it on. That mount type is not allowed here. Okay, fine. Hang on. Let me zip home. And I got all the kitty cats that came with it. That was kind of one of the reasons why. Oh, no, that's the rakish one. I did the rakish package because I wanted all the cats. But I did decide to do the homesteads one that you're talking about because I wanted the barns. Okay, so let me get on the homesteads, or homestead steed. I mean, that looks ridiculously huge for a Hobbit, though. Like, I'm feeling very much like, what is it, Brandbus took? Like, it's ridiculous. Look how big that thing is on for me. Yeah, it's not, it was a short time that they had it available. Now, Cord has said that he doesn't want things to be available only once and never again, though. So my guess is that these will be available again at some point in some fashion. It might be through the, like the... Oh, was it the legendary item reward track? You know, I wouldn't be surprised to see them available through that. So my hope is that, yeah, they'll make things available in different ways, you know, so that way if you didn't get it through buying it with Lotro points, you could buy it with, you know, other things at some point. So, oh, I don't have the stables here, do I? Ha, how funny. Because I put this thing in instead. Oh, I know where I put the stable. Hang on. I have this house over here. We have all 4 of the kin houses in our neighborhood. There we go. I put it over here, the homestead stable, because it's, I mean, good grief, it is huge, and you can actually go in, and all of this is part of it. Oh, maybe I can find that one house. Hang on. There's a house in our neighborhood. One of our new kinnies is like super into housing and did some fantastic stuff with the house. Let me see if I can remember which house it is. I'm going to ride around our neighborhood for a minute so you can just enjoy the fun horse as I ride around. But I know, I mean, Aaron Bard says, yes, that's exactly what it feels like to ride a draft horse. Yes, but I mean, I just, it's too big for a Hobbit, I feel like. I don't know. It just seems weird. It seems too much. Like, it's huge. This thing, like, I'm so far off the ground. It's pretty, though. I grant you that. It's very pretty. Was it this house? No. It's not this one. Hang on, I'll keep looking. Aaron Bard says, I know they have smaller versions, but I don't know if they're rideable in game. Yeah, they have the pet ones, which are cool. Ah, here we go. Okay, check this out. Okay, so you come up to this house. Let me turn around here. All right, so you come up to the house, and there's the stable master stand and a miniature draft horse, like, standing there, like, as if it's your stable master, which I'm like, that is so clever. And then you've got the stables, and then you go basically in, and you're inside the stables. I'm like, how clever is that? And then, let me take the floating names off. So you've got, like, a horse there, and the horses that you're seeing are those pets. Those are the pets that you could get as part of it, too. And there's a horse in that stable area. It's just so good. They did such a good job here of making, like, a stables in the house, you know? And there's your little bed space. Oh, it's just so good. They did a really fantastic job of decorating this house, I thought. So yeah, so it's like you're inside the stable. Really clever. This is over on Treebeard. This is in our neighborhood in Whitwich. It's Farrier's house, but yes. So yeah, I just think that's just really cool. Let's see, that's the house it's in Whitwich. It's the one at 2 Harrow Road, if you wanted to take a look at that.
I know it.
So yeah, I know. That one's so good. So yeah, when these barns came out, they just, like, barns all over the neighborhood. Barn, 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 barn. We all got very excited about the barns. All right, so I think I'm about good for the day. Are you ready to jump in? Okay, so on Tuesdays, let me say Tuesdays, or is it Tuesday? I always forget. Yes, an S or not no S? I guess no S. Hang on. Hey, Moobot. There we go. So we have 3 of us now that stream on Tuesdays. So there's me now, as you have seen. Hi. Hello. And I start at 11:30 U.S. Eastern time, which is like 5:30 Netherlands time in the afternoon. And yes, we try to provide as much cat content as possible because, you know, that's what we're all here for. And then right after me is before. So I tend to focus on, you know, these kind of side things, housing, allegiances things, missions, when there's not a festival. When there's a festival, we do festival stuff. That's our main focus, is festivals. But when there's no festival and no event, then we go find something else to do to keep us occupied and keep us out of trouble, right? So that's what we are doing over here on my stream on Heart of a Hobbit. After me is Before, and his stream is all about Lotro plugins. And so those are all these various things that you might see on my screen. Like I've got the Titan bar at the very top with a whole bunch of little pieces of information. You see I've got some buttons down here for the deed tracker. That's a plugin. Poetical I use, Songbook I use, his Festival Buddy 2, which he took over, was Festival Buddy 1, and now he created kind of the next generation Festival Buddy 2. There's also Travel Window 2 that I use. So those are all plugins, and Before has gotten into developing these. And so on his stream, Plugging Along, he will be talking about plugins and doing some of that development here on screen. So like Aaron Bard asks, is there a way to hide quest rings and target squares for screenshot purposes? Yes. I know with the rings, let's see, control, is it quest? Quest. Let's see, UI settings, overhead quest icons, that might be it. Overhead non-quest icons, vendors, trainers, etc. So you can uncheck that and the icon above their head would go away. So if you wanted to get some good screenshots without that kind of stuff, yes, that would be how you would accomplish that, if that's what you're talking about. Yeah? Okay, so anyway, I'm going to head out. And then we have a new streamer, Mailung. They are on much later in the day, though. So, like, we're on earlier in the day because it's what works for us, because we're in Europe. So we do this in the afternoon and evening for us. But yes, if you are in the US time frame or just up late in Europe, Mailung is on at like 8 o'clock or something like that. There is actually, there's also the schedule, and you can click on that and it tells you when you can find the various streamers. And also a lot of us have a social media presence of some sort to let people know when we're on. So that, like I have currently what was called Twitter account, an account previously known as Twitter. And so I still, whatever it's called there, post a message letting people know that I'll be streaming that day. So you can always follow me there for as long as that social media platform is still around. And then when that goes away, I'll have to come up with something else, but I'll figure it out then. All right. That will be it for me today. Then next week is the beginning of August. There's Hobnanigans, but I think it's like Tuesday, or I think it's like Thursday through Monday. So we'll miss out on Hobnanigans on stream. Alas. Curator, Filbert Fig, LI Reward Track season switches mid-August. Farmer's Fair comes in mid-August. So we'll have another couple weeks of getting into random trouble. So we'll probably finish off the Allegiance stuff over the next few weeks and then see what to do from there. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you over on B4 stream here in just a few minutes. And as I always say with mine, remember to stay connected to the Hobbit side of your heart. And for me, that means take care of each other and take care of yourselves. All right, have a great rest of your day. We'll see you over on Plugging Along in just a moment. All right, bye now.